Oh my gosh,
Fundamentals.
we would be the bad boys of Little League. I'm telling you now, we would beat the tar out of the other team.
I'm just gonna go out and say it. Joey Chestnut has to be on the pub.
Has to be.
Pub more.
Has to be.
Dramatic, man. That was a journey.
First time on air. Anything to say to Lawan here to get him back?
Look, bro, there are stories I could tell people about Lawan, but we'll keep those right here. I'm gonna let him live.
So smart, and my team is so dumb. My coach he looks dumb. He's a big baby. This man
Those graphics.
Episode 194 Pub Sports Talk, man. It's me and Devontae Keith, the two Warriors. Fitz might hop on a little bit later. He had some company coming in, but it's Friday Night Lights for us, big dog. I'm excited for it. Final Four. We got women's going on right now. Your girls, your women's Wolfpack had a great first half. We were talking about before on air. Third quarter, not it for them, not what they needed. But they gave South Carolina a scare for at least the first half, though.
Yeah.
And we got the matchup, Clark, Page, Buckets, head on 8:30 tonight. I'm going to try to, 9:05, I think it's supposed to tip off.
I hope Iowa is the NC State in that game for real. They get shut down, they can't score, and then Page Buckets get to move on.
Yeah, man. I'm excited for that game. We're going to talk about both those great players, those games. We're going to talk about men's Final Four. We got a little baseball, a little Bronny Jr. action, the decision part 2. And trying to see if I'm missing anything else. Oh, Stephon Diggs finds a new home. So big episode. Buckle in for it. Before we get started, Devontae, got 5 March Madness trivia questions for you.
Oh, shit.
All right. I think you'll do all right with this. I think.
Let's see.
Question 1. What is the name of the video highlight recap of each year's NCAA tournament?
What?
It's also the name of the song.
Oh, that's a thing?
Yep.
Is it not March Madness?
Oh, it's not. I'm going to give you one more guess. Think about the song they always play.
Oh, a video highlight reel for the entire thing?
Yeah, the entire tournament. This song got popular they introduced it when we were probably in middle school or so, and it's stuck ever since.
The shining moment or something? Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
one
real?
shining moment.
Oh.
Yep. Count it. Buckets. All right, question 2. Lost my place. What is the highest number of games one team can play in a single NCAA tournament?
Ooh. All right. The highest number of games. So the 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 7?
Yeah, ding, ding, ding.
Okay.
7, as long as they play in that first 4. Yeah. Good job. All right, question 3. What team emerged from the first 4 to reach the Final Four?
Ooh. It wasn't recent, was it?
We should remember this. Okay. We were definitely old enough. This was like probably prime when we were really dialed into sports.
Was it George Mason?
It was not George Mason. Good guess. I'll give you one more. You're on the right track, though.
First 4 to make it to the Final Four. Dang, I don't know. San Diego. Well, no, that's too late. That's too late. Final
2011 is the year.
2011. Yeah. Shit, man, I got nothing.
VCU.
Oh, that was prime time right there too.
I know. All right, 4. Which coach has won the most NCAA tournament games? He is retired now.
Okay. NCAA tournament games. Is it Coach K?
It is Coach
No.
K. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely
right.
about to say Roy Williams because but those NIT tournaments kind of slipped my mind.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. 8 schools have won more than 2 NCAA tournament titles. Which one has not? Kansas, Nova, UConn, NC State.
How many did you say?
More than 2.
More than 2. No, I guess NC State.
Yeah, that a boy. Up until this year, this is where they get that
we
second
claiming
one.
it.
That's right. Let's dive into it. Let's dive into the women's action. And I'm excited for this. I got to put our faces up there. We talked about South Carolina, NC State going off right now. I think before tip-off, you and me were talking, and it's like it seemed like NC State, this is theirs to win here.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had nothing to lose. Like they could go out here, handle business, and I feel like they almost did it. They just came up just a little bit short. Unfortunately, it looks as if they're going to come up short. I don't want to call them out just yet, but it's not looking pretty for them. What was your thoughts going into this game? I mean, obviously you picked State. I think Fitz picked State. I was the only one that picked South Carolina. I just think of the juggernaut that Don Staley has down there. But
yeah, I was obviously optimistic. I mean, I remember watching a couple of games thinking like, oh, so these are, for one, they don't really have that deep of a bench. For two, there's only like one score to me. Excuse me. There's only one scoring option. Isaiah James, that's like the one consistent scorer. And it's not one of those situations where like the consistent score is going to pull him out of the game, because like eventually she is going to need some help. She's really good, but she's not like that dog that'll like find a way. Whereas in South Carolina, they do like a bunch of little things to make sure that they at least stay in the game. Because you notice it was 31-32 and South Carolina was up 1. And that was after after Cardoso was injured. So I'm thinking, oh, NC State has a chance. They're going to tighten up, because there was a couple people that hadn't scored. Or there was, I think between the two teams, there was 16 turnovers. And I knew then, I was like, all right, so South Carolina might be able to get away with a couple turnovers, but NC State can't get away with this many turnovers. And they proved me right so far. So I don't know. I'm in a bad way, man, a bad way.
Hey, there's always tomorrow for you.
Oh, yeah.
Glass half full here. Fitz, he joins us for a quick little brief here for women's hoops. I'm excited for it. You pick NC State women's as well. What went in the process of saying, hey, I'm picking the
I didn't pick
girls?
them. I picked
ladies.
That in the men. I picked NC State.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I promise. And I'm not saying that now because they're losing.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, you're right. You're absolutely
I picked South Carolina. Don Staley. Don Staley's on a mission this year. We've established this. I think facing Iowa last year, they had the recipe to stop Caitlin Clark, and they just kind of fell short. So I think what is the word here? They reassembled their crew, a new group of girls, but it might be the best South Carolina group we've seen. And Staley's got 2 championships on her belt, so we'll see.
And I look at it, to me, in my eyes, there are the women, like they're the equivalent of UConn on the men's side. Like they're just a well-oiled machine.
They're the upcoming. I think that's the hope, at least, is they can become what UConn or Tennessee, like they're trying to become that program. Yeah.
Well, I'm saying for the equivalent of the men's side this year, where they're just
they're
just going, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And shout out Don Staley. She got Naismith Coach of the Year, well deserved. One of the few people to win it as a player, also as a coach. Shout out to her. Let's move into the primetime event. It seems like Clark, Buckners. This seems like everybody's
It's
Beckers.
Beckers.
Thank you. As soon as I said it, I was like, no, I combined Buckers, Buckets, and Beckner. But anyways, this is going to be great. I'm excited for Iowa, UConn. It seems like we have an unstoppable force meets unmovable object right now. Clark was phenomenal against LSU. Like, I know Haley, what's her name? Van Loth? No.
Van Leith.
Van Leith. She got memed to death, but there's nothing that girl could have done. Clark was pulling up and she was hitting like, what else could you
It's
do?
a 5'7" guard versus a 6 foot that can shoot threes.
And Mulkey left you on an island by yourself.
Yeah, and
no wonder she's in the transfer portal.
And what I'm interested in, just not to jump too ahead, but I guess the difference between Beckers and Leith we'll see tonight. Beckers is basically the same height as Clark, but her length is actually what makes her a little bit like she almost. She's probably 5'11" in the program, but she's probably got the wingspan of like a 6'2", 6'3" kind of forward. So I think she'll be able to disrupt Clark's shot, which Van Leith just wasn't able to do. I mean, bless her heart, she tried, but
effort.
But she wasn't able to do anything.
I was wondering why they didn't put Flau'jae on Caitlin Clark.
Exactly.
It seemed like it would make the most sense, and I know Flau'jae just kept looking because I don't know who the girl was that Flau'jae was guarding, but she didn't do too much, and I also don't know her name, so I would assume like maybe she's not worth like having a better player or a player the same size as Caitlin Clark guarding her. But you know what? Maybe that means she did her job that she was supposed to do. I don't know, but Haley Van Lith was not known for a defense, period. So I don't know. No. We gotta go into the Mulkey psyche for that one.
Well, it's just like where are you gonna put your mismatch? You know, like if Van Lith if that's gonna be a mismatch, regardless of who she's guarding, you know, would you rather it be a mismatch on Clark or a mismatch on like one of those secondary players? Because I think because you're exactly right. Like the question is, it's like Clark's just gonna have the ball in her hands at all times and is gonna shoot or try to draw two and pass or whatever. So yeah, why not put your strongest defender and then make those other players be the ones that beat you?
Yeah. It just made no sense. And, you know, I guess let's rewind a little bit. I got to know, Angel Reese, she plays the tough cookie. She wears the villain role, and she said she even leans into it during the season. And then they lose, and she wants to play the victim card. In my eyes, you don't get to play both.
Oh my God.
Either you're a badass and you're the villain,
stupid.
or you're the victim. Like in my eyes, if you lean into the villain role, which I love, I coach my team to lean in the villain role. But then when we lose, we don't get to play the victim. Like there's no like, oh, you know, I was hated all year. Well, no shit, you leaned into it.
Yeah,
you anticipated. You wanted the heat.
Maybe. I don't know.
That was she mentioned something. I remember I think it was on Twitter where like she said she was receiving death threats and she was being sexualized.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then somebody like showed, I think it was a TikTok where she was doing a haul from Shein. And it was like a bodysuit, and they were like, "You talking about being sexualized, and you wear stuff like this?" And I'm like, "All right, bro, it's a little bit far, it's a little bit much." But
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I mean, I can see how she would be emotional during that point because I'm wondering like what exactly was said like after the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Kim Mulkey was already mad at that the article. It wasn't the Washington Post this time. It was the LA
Times.
And they called them, what was it?
They just called them villains.
Dirty, that's what we call them, dirty debutantes. That is like a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
dirty
like,
debutantes, yeah.
I feel like it makes a difference when like you lean into stuff like that and then to have somebody play into it and to group the whole group into it, into like, usually it's just one person, but now they're like, oh, all of y'all are dirty and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I see what you're saying, but at the same time, like, you know, she really She really
Golly.
loved the game, and then like I get it. Like you really feel that way. Like, well, I won, so now what? But when you lost, that's when you only really feel reality if you lose something.
Oh,
Like reality
100%.
of any type of situation. Like even if you got hurt during a game, but y'all won, you like, oh shoot, I'm still on an adrenaline high.
Mm-hmm.
3 days later. But if you lost, oh my God, like that cramp hurts 10 times more.
Yeah.
That pain is like worse. That jam finger is just like about to fall off. It's just bad.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. And like, let me correct my statement. Like the life-threatening sexualization, that's a different ball
Yeah.
game. But you know, the I don't want to say dirty because even her play is not very dirty. I don't think it is. But just like you in this villain role, I think you've got to stick your gun. She had the crown on the bench in warm-ups.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
she was like,
She was-
crown me.
Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out too, like, because Angel Reese is very petty, and I like that about her. Like, I liked that she was wearing the black hat. Like in this basketball world where, this is Caitlin Clark's league. And I think LSU was trying to rudely interrupt that and be like, no, we beat them last year and we're going to beat them again. I don't know. They fell short. I think part of it, this wouldn't have happened, but it's almost like they needed to come out full Detroit Pistons. Like LSU needed to do like the Caitlin rules.
Yeah.
And just put her on her ass. Like, all right, when she brings the ball down, all right, we're going to throw in someone who's just going to use their foul. We're going to come in and like, we're going to play. We're going to show them who we are. Like, you're calling us the villains, LA Times. All right, we'll be the villains.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. Is they could have totally leaned into that to a competitive advantage and tried to get in Iowa's head.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know if they did do that or if they just lacked the 3-point shot enough that they didn't have a chance no matter what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they just didn't have it. I don't think they had maybe 1-3 of the whole game.
There's no answer.
Oh, bro,
Clark.
that whole Haley Van Lith on Caitlin, I don't know. Some was mighty fishy about that. Like I feel like Kim Mulkey would be way smarter than that, or be a coach and make the switch. Switch.
What she said that was her best defender on Clark. She really felt that.
Man.
And I feel like I could see where maybe like from an agility point or like how she is in her defensive set, like she's contesting shots the best she can. Again, the difference is it's already the best shooter in women's basketball. And again, just having like the 4-inch or 5-inch difference. It's actually like a 5-inch difference. That's gonna be an advantage to that shooter.
Yeah.
Like you have to know that. It's like it doesn't matter how. I mean, I'm saying this as a 5'7" guard. I know I'm a decent defender.
Yeah.
But there's only so much I can do when I'm guarding a guy who can just like shoot it over me. So
And they shoot it from
I
anywhere.
thought you were 6 foot or something close to it. You catfish me a little bit. I was thinking you were like 5.
yeah, I feel I'm bigger than my britches.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I'm 5'8". I think I'm 5'8".
I'll give you 5'8".
I'm 5'8".
I give it to you.
I play like I'm 6'9" though, right?
Real.
We'll talk about that.
I play like I'm 6'4".
And there's
I
one
play like I'm D Wade.
the Flash. And there's one more thing we got to talk about LSU, and then we'll do our picks for UConn, Iowa here. The Mulkey hit piece, man. The fuck was that, Washington Post? I was expecting skeletons out the closet,
You feel me?
body bags to be shown. Nah, they just basically said she was an asshole of a coach. Any great coach, you point him out, they've got a little asshole to him. And that's no surprise. And I was a little upset. And like the only reason I read the article is because Kim Mulkey had 2 press conferences going against that. Like if she didn't say anything, I don't think I read the article. There's no need for me to.
Yeah. I don't know. It was. I wonder. I don't know. Like, could she have sued them or something or what?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, it's the whole bad press is good press, right? This was the most watched women's game ever, right? This LSU Iowa. And I even wondered, I wondered kind of like who was playing along with it. Was there kind of a method to the madness?
Conspiracy,
so to think. like just that they built this up. I mean, this was like the two, like, you know, Iowa, these were the Golden Girls. These were just, they're supposed to get there. They're riding on Caitlin Clark. And LSU was wearing that villain role. And it kind of played into each other really well. I thought it was like, you know, it was like the team. I thought the team element of LSU defensively versus the one star power. I just felt like, maybe this is what women's basketball is doing. Maybe this is on purpose.
Yeah.
It's like it's trying to build these stories, but maybe not. And maybe that's the learning from this. That's the takeaway, is like, oh yeah, sell this more. Like make this out to be. So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
It makes for a good Hollywood script. And let's go ahead and talk about it. The heavyweight fight, the two undisputed two of the greatest players in the game, probably to ever play basketball on the women's side here. You know, you look at the numbers side to side, they're very similar. I'm excited for this matchup. I think UConn might be the more complete team, where Clark has the nod over Page here. I'm picking UConn. I'm going to have a UConn sweep. I'm going to have spoiler alert here. I'm picking UConn to win the boys' side too. Sorry, Devontae. Sorry.
I could see how you would feel like that. Yeah, I can see it. I can't be mad at that. You know, they're like by and large the most prepared team to make a run. So, I mean, they've been making the runs for like years, for as long as we can remember basketball. UConn has been the standard. I mean, there was a point where it was Villanova, and then Jay Wright retired, and then UConn got right back on it.
Right.
But
exactly.
but the same thing could be said about the women too. If I remember right, like UConn women, I mean, that's a pretty historical program too. I feel like
they had at one point 111 straight wins. At one point, I think that was over the span of like 3 or 4 seasons.
Yep,
they didn't lose a game. Still stands as like the longest win streak.
Well, boys, who do you take? You taking Caitlin Clark in Iowa, UConn and Page?
So I'm excited for this. This is what I have to leave in like 15 minutes. My brother's in town. We're gonna go to a bar and watch this game. Hopefully, there's not a lot of Iowa fans, but we're real close to that border. So, but I'm gonna be pulling for UConn. I think one of the key stories for UConn this year, they had a lot of injuries. They've only been playing like 6 girls. Yeah. So, like foul trouble or injury. Again, we've talked about that. This is like our intramural squad back in the day. Is you got a 6-man rotation or a 6-girl rotation. Everyone's got to be on it. But again, I think that's part of why they've been so good. Is they really complement each other's game well. It's probably the best. I mean, it's easily the best 6-person team. And as far as their chemistry together, or at least the starting 5, I think they're starting 5. Key to watch. They have a freshman who's had more minutes because of these injuries, and she's just lighting it up from 3. So I think what LSU lacked from 3, I think UConn's got the players with Beckers, and then this freshman. Their other guard, I think they got a guard from Croatia. I don't know if she shoots a lot. She's more of the distributor. But I think she could knock them down too if calls on her. Yeah. I mean, she's a senior. You got to count on your seniors down the stretch here. And then they've got a force inside that I don't know if Iowa. So I think the matchups to watch, obviously, Paige Beckers on Clark and how Beckers does. Can she stabilize Clark? Can she disrupt? Like we were talking about the best defender in the country versus the best offensive player, Clark versus Beckers. Yeah. And then on the UConn side, it would be how do they do in the paint, and can Iowa stop? I was gonna say, can they stop big fella? What's the alternative of big fella?
Yeah, you don't want to say big girl.
For
you want to say big lady.
Big lady. Yeah, doesn't roll. What do you say?
Grande señorita. I don't know.
Grande señorita. Like there needs to be. There's got to be a term out there. But
the 5 position.
Yeah, the 5. I don't know. But I mean, seriously, like that's going to be Iowa. I don't know that they really have someone that can stop in the paint. This is why they rely on the 3-point shooting. So if Clark isn't able to put up 40 or whatever, that could be a problem. So I'm really excited for this game, though. Obviously, I'm gonna pick UConn.
Yep. Any other women's hoops picks here? I told you I'm picking South Carolina to win this thing right out in the championship. Even if UConn wins, Iowa wins. I think South Carolina it's an unstoppable force. Good luck trying to.
Yeah, I would be torn too. I would probably pull for UConn if they played South Carolina, even though I've been loyal to Don Staley. But I would probably pick South Carolina to win. I just feel like they're on a mission. Last year, it just felt like with Aaliyah Boston, they really could have made the run last year, and they came up short. And I feel like they are way more focused than they've ever been. So
yeah.
I feel that. I don't know. I'll take, after seeing this little Heine whooping, I'll take USC to take it all. I just genuinely do not want to see Iowa in the final game. USC and UConn seems like, but I mean, there is the drama with Iowa and USC. So hopefully capitalism doesn't rule the sports world again, and Iowa doesn't make it just for the viewership. But I just want to
now see
we've been seeing good basketball. Like, I'm glad to see women's hoops come as far as it has. So hopefully we see the same thing in the final game, because last year was like a blowout, wasn't it? Or am I tripping? It was a blowout.
Oh, it was a little LSU pretty much dominated.
I don't want to see that. Like, I want to see competition again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want it to have as much value and competition as we have on the men's side too. So
yeah.
Just watch if Beckers if she fouls out in this game, I'm gonna call some bullshit on the refs.
Yeah.
If they pave the way for Clark just to get to the championship, and be salty. She better win it outright.
Well, speaking of, let's go ahead and talk. Right, Zach Edey, Purdue taking on NC State. Zach Edey, he's a hell of a ball player. He's not just tall; he knows how to move his feet. His finish is great. His defense is great. He's a great basketball player. But I cannot stand how the officials officiate him. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. He's got to come down and stop this. This is bad. This is bad. I hate the way he's officiated. And I'm not even a Tennessee fan. I'm not even a Creighton fan, or, everybody they've gone against. He gets like 25 fouls called for him. It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
This is where I got a question.
Like, fouls like as much as they do him. And I'm trying to think, like, what type of agenda are they pushing? Because as a big man myself, I don't get foul. I don't call my own fouls on pickup.
No,
they barely call. Like, when we had the adult league, they didn't call any foul on me. So how in the world is this 7'12" Joker getting every foul call more than his own point guard? That's crazy to me.
It's ridiculous. And Devontae, you're absolutely right. Like, I feel like a scumbag if I ever call a foul on myself, or someone calls a foul for me. I'm like, no, we're straight. We're gonna keep playing. Like, I feel like a scumbag taking a foul, but he'll be like, yeah, call it 30 times. I'll take all 30.
I have a question for Vontae. He's obviously watched more NC State basketball. Yeah. How does DJ Burns match up against Edey? Like, what is there a chance for him being so like his like, I don't want to say like that now it's running the same problem as like the women's. Like, he's very stocky. He's very low center of gravity, right? Like, how is he going to be able to defend Edey? What have you seen from him? Because obviously he's had a lot of tournament success.
So I went back to the Wisconsin game. There was I forgot what the dude's name. I think his last name was Wall. So Wall was another, like, I think it was maybe 6'10", 6'11", so he was closer to 7 foot, but he was built more, like he was sturdier. So what I'm banking on is like the physical play. And so there have been memes going around saying like, oh, let this be one of the few times they let the boys play because, you know, they love to call fouls on DJ Burns. So the only way he can win this battle or at least make it a battle is if he's physical, like, you know what I'm saying, like boxing out. Honestly, just boxing out, because if you think about it, a lot of Edey's points comes from him just reaching over people. But like at some point, there has got to be a over the back call. Like I have never seen over the back being called on Zach Edey, and it's like, all right, bro. Even though he's tall, like ain't no way like he can just like put his arms over people, put his chest on people's back. So like DJ has to get really physical, put his body on him. If this is one of those games where like he doesn't score, but he helps other people score, I'm completely fine with that because I don't know about Purdue's wing defenders. Like Braden Smith is good with passing. I don't know how he is on offense. Lance Jones is a good defender. So he'll probably be on Casey Morcell. But either way, I think DJ is up for it. We done gassed him up, so he better be up for the challenge. So, you know, put some Southern home cooking on him. Make him barbecue chicken, you know?
I love it. Well, let's get our picks real quick. I know Fitz has got to bounce here. Yeah,
I'm lacing my shoes.
Let's talk about this Final Four. Let me paint the picture for you. You've got probably the college best player, Zach Edey, who we just talked about, going against the Cinderella story that America can get behind NC State. Who do we take? Do we take Cinderella or we take the best player in the country here?
I take State. I believe in the Cinderella.
Devontae, you taking them? You riding?
Yeah, I shit. At least the spread on State.
I love it. 11.5 points. Now, Bama, who is the up and coming, the upstart program here. It seems like things are finally clicking for him, going against the well-oiled machine of UConn, the belle of the ball, a complete team here. Who do you guys take?
I'm gonna start with Alabama. I'm gonna be honest, just based off of their physicality, like defense, and the fact that they're kind of lanky. I feel like they'll have a chance at least in the first half. But again, UConn is UConn. Dan Hurley is slightly, if not a lot, unhinged. So I think they're gonna find a way, regardless if Alabama makes a run. But I think UConn got this one.
I feel like Lee Corso. Alabama, no chance.
Yeah.
Give me UConn. Give me that Husky. I do feel like UConn. It feels like it's theirs to lose. So I don't think Bama's got a chance.
I laid out two pre-tournament bets, one being Creighton, the other one being UConn. And I just feel like UConn's just such a well-oiled machine. Good luck stopping them. Dan Hurley, they got more fuel in the tank now. I don't know if you guys saw, but they got to the airport. They had to wait 8 hours for a flight. They didn't get into Phoenix. They had to take a Legion airline, which some people call worse than Spirit Airline. I'm not saying that, but some people are.
It's not Sun Country.
They have to share a room. DJ Burns gets a king bed all to himself. And Spencer's got to share a little twin-size bed. Seems like there's a lot of fuel for Dan Hurley and the UConn Huskies. And I feel like that's a dangerous thing when you give them more ammunition.
Right.
So, I'm going to take UConn. I'm taking UConn to win this whole thing. My heart says NC State, though. I want it for you, Devontae. I want it for Raleigh. I want it for NC State. What a story for America. But I'm taking UConn to win the whole thing.
If NC State finds a way, if they get to the championship and then they face UConn, all I'm going to say is they have a chance to have the two biggest upsets in championship history.
Yeah.
Like if it's UConn and NC State.
Yeah.
I'm picking UConn, but I would love to see just for a chance for us to kick around the idea of, is this bigger than Houston, NC State in 1980s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm taking UConn.
I like it. Devontae?
You know what? Let me keep the ball rolling. I'll roll with NC State. Oh, and so wait, were you talking about the whole thing or
the whole
shebang bang?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. I gotta go watch Iowa
Hey,
UConn.
enjoy it.
Pleasure jump
Yeah.
on a Friday.
Enjoy it.
Take care.
Friday.
Gamble responsibly.
That's right.
Remember, the safest betting is no betting.
Listen to him, but don't listen to him. Anyways.
All right, see you guys.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this Final Four, Devontae. I know you are. Shout out to your boy. Made shirts, and I think he's sold out or he's about to sell out.
He's close to selling out. Shout out my boy Sam Schmidt. Think if you want to follow him on Instagram, that's Sam Schmidt, SCHMIDT, and it's a bunch of underscores after that. Shout out him. I think his site is linked. I'm almost positive the link is the same name. Has other cool stuff, but like nothing's gonna be cooler than that Final Four t-shirt.
Dude, that thing is sick. Yeah. I'm excited for it, and I can't wait. NC State brings it home. What he designs for the national championship shirt. That'd be dope. I love it. Any other Final Four things you want to break down here? I feel like we did a good job, but
I'm fine. I'm happy we finally have teams we wouldn't have expected. It was you remember that one year it was Arkansas in it, and that's how we found the other Jalen Williams that plays for OKC now and a couple other people. So like it's always cool whenever you have more than one team that you didn't expect to make it, and hopefully next year we have more of the same, even for the women. I wouldn't even call them underdogs. It's just like it's cool to see what equal opportunity and the transfer portal can do. So yeah, I'm with
yeah, dude. I'm with it too. I totally agree with you. All right. Speaking of transfer portal, let's talk a little Bronny James action here. The decision part 2. He not only does he enter the transfer portal, he's going to enter the NBA draft, which he shouldn't be drafted, right? He barely played at USC. It felt like he barely put up
I don't care.
Yeah,
he was terrible.
And I get it, the last name and who his dad is, but you can't justify picking him. There's no way in hell can you justify picking LeBron in the lottery. So I feel like he's going to transfer. I talked to some inside sources. Boys, we got inside sources now, which I'm excited for. They're saying Ohio State is the place he's going to go.
Which is crazy because Bron was saying USC didn't have the winning culture that they thought they did, which is crazy because USC had been making it in the NCAA tournament for fairly consistently. But then when it's Kobe Johnson and Boogie Ellis and Bronny, that whole young crew, they were supposed to be the great new hopes, and they suck. And this is like the last year of the Pac-12 too, and the Pac-12 was fairly open. It's kind of, I don't know, Bron is looking more and more like a big liar.
Dude, absolutely.
Big cat, bro.
Big cat. I love that. I don't know how you justify going to the NBA. Like I just can't. I don't know. I can't see it. I can't see any team taking a chance on him.
He must have never heard of. You remember Malachi Richardson from Syracuse? He had that one good game from Syracuse, and I think the Kings drafted him, and nothing much came from that. And there's been so many stories like that where people leave earlier than they should, especially in recent years, because you see like a lot of people we knew in college, they go to the G League and kind of take up space there. So it's like, go ahead and build up your brand and your bread and stay in school. I mean, I guess if it's one of those things where like he wants to see where he stands with everybody, I don't know why, because this is a good year for everybody coming into the draft. But like, seeing where he stands as far as how prepared he is, I mean, I guess, but at the same time, like, quit wasting those people's time. Like, for real.
Yes. I'm 100% with you. 100%. Anything else about Bronny Jr. you want to talk about?
Team stay away for now. Like, I get the marketing plot, but let's avoid the plot for once.
Yeah. God, my man. That's why we brought you on the pup. All right. We were talking about Final Four. My last subject that we got right now, or sorry, second to last. Texans, Stephon Diggs. This move, it worries me. You look at Stephon Diggs, I thought him and Josh Allen, they're boys, and there seems to be, some underlying, I don't want to say.
Yeah, the girls are fighting low key.
Yeah, it's low key fighting. It's sleeping disc. I don't know, man. Like, I thought it was going to work in Buffalo. It obviously never works out. And then him going to Texans for barely anything.
Right? It almost seems like they wanted him out, but it's crazy because it's like, I don't know who they have on offense anymore besides Josh Allen. And I guess it's one of those things where, like, Josh Allen is our future, so let's build around Josh Allen. And it's cool, but a lot of times you choose a fairly seasoned wide receiver one, but at the same time, this draft is pretty full of receivers. But also, I don't know. I'm almost positive the Bills are kind of low on the draft board. So it's like, are you going to get the wide receiver you want, or do you plan on trading up? We don't know.
You got to trade up. Yeah.
But it was a quick story I just saw. Stephon Diggs wants to go back to his Maryland number because he played at University of Maryland. He was number one there, so he had to give Jimmy Ward a little bag to get number one. So Jimmy Ward has to get a new number. So he's not going to be number 14 no more. So I guess it's a new beginning. So maybe he's turning over a new leaf.
Yeah.
His workout Instagram reel was pretty inspiring and cool. So maybe he turned over a new leaf.
Maybe this is the ticket. This is what he needs, the new number. I like Stephon Diggs. I want him to do well. Like, and he's a phenomenal player. And I feel like Houston's doing everything right to be a contender in the AFC. I can also see in this, like, CJ Stroud misses him on a slant and it's like, yo, fuck the Houston Texans. Fuck CJ Stroud. And, like, we have another situation here because it's happened to every team he's been in right now.
Yeah. Or maybe there could be a chance where it is not even a Josh Allen problem. It's a problem with the coaching staff. And it seems like he wants to get – it might be like with the fan base, and it could be with the coaching staff. Like, him and Josh Allen might still be cool. He might have fussed at him because, he's not an accurate passer, and he missed him on a couple open passes, which CJ is more than likely going to do the same. I mean, probably not as often, but if you miss a couple of open passes, but you see your offensive coordinator and your head coach trying to work with you, like, you're more inclined to stay. So we've all been turning toward Josh Allen, but, like, let's look at Sean McDermott because I'm pretty sure he's been on the hot seat for a while, and he just keeps making the playoffs just to lose them. So they can't really fire him. So they think, but yeah.
Exactly. Dude, sipping the same Kool-Aid. I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. Anything else, Stephon Diggs?
Best of luck, because that is a nice wide receiver room for real.
Dude, I feel like they're going to be a real problem as long as they don't get in the way of themselves in the AFC. All right. And then the last thing, the UFL is back. Springtime football. This is controversial. This might be the most controversial thing I've ever said on this podcast. I don't like spring football. I think you respect the sports calendar the way it is. It's time for March Madness. It's time for NHL, NBA playoffs, MLB opening day. It just
feels like it's in the way.
Fan.
Like, why are you fighting for my screen time? I know I wanted to talk about the UFL only because of some of the names we've seen. We've seen the YouTube dude destroying him, and Brad Wing are the kicker and punter, which, I mean, that could be cool for marketing purposes. Got our boy from the 919, Ricky Person, on the Birmingham Stallions, I believe. Yeah, Ricky Person plays for Birmingham Stallions. There's a couple, like, former pros, like Jared Guantanamo or whatever the hell his name was. They used to play for Tennessee. Couldn't quite cut it. Your boy Reuben Foster from the 49ers, he's been doing pretty well in there. So I like to see who's going to be a success story out of the UFL. But you're right that they are kind of in the way, and it's kind of distracting to the real sports, so to speak. But it is pretty cool whenever you find the time to watch it. And it's good.
Yeah.
It's good feeling
No,
because we don't really watch baseball as much as we should. So it is good feeling.
Yeah. No, it is a great filler. I just
Right.
don't want it in my way. I think you said it perfectly. And I look back at COVID and it was perfect. Like I felt like the XFL, UFL, like this is what we
Mhm.
needed. This was great. This was awesome. And then obviously COVID and just not having attendance there killed the league. I don't wish it. I don't know. I kind of wish it stayed dead. Maybe I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do it in the fall and you give me a Tuesday, Wednesday game to look forward to. That'd be sick, right? It sucks for those players. Sick for me. You respect the sports calendar. Now I got football Monday through Sunday, and I love it.
Nice.
But any of those sports topics, man, it was a quick episode.
I don't know. I can't really think of too much. I think we hit on all the big news. We know that the draft is coming up in like 1, 2, 3 weeks.
3 weeks, and we're gonna do a mock draft. I'm gonna try next week.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to do our mock draft. in here.
So apparently more people have been talking about who's been visiting who's been visiting different pro days and stuff like that. Different people are getting signed. There's been a couple of under the radar signings like filler spots, special team spots. But besides that, football is happening, so that's cool to know. I mean, especially since it's cold in spring, it's cool to know that we got the football to go along with it. So it works out. Basketball is still happening. Playoffs seem like they're about to happen soon, I would think. So that means the play-ins are started. So we'll see how it turns out, because it looks like everybody's been sucking except for the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. And as far as the East, I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. Every time I'm like, all right, Celtics easy dub
Right.
tonight. They either blow it or it's super close. I'm like, well, the East is wide open. I feel
Ever
like
since they opened
there's
up
no
the sports betting, shit has been looking more and more rigged. I don't know about you, but shit is looking more and more rigged. The more I watch these games and try to bet on stuff that seems like it makes sense, just for teams to do stuff to throw games, I don't know, man. That looks like some investigations are in order.
It's all part of the script.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have the script. That's where we're fucking up
Yeah.
at. That's where we're messed
I
up
need
at.
it.
Yeah, you and me both. Well, let's go ahead. Let's do our pub parlay. I don't know what happened to my graphics. They're messing up here. But pub parlay, let's make some money. And we got tomorrow, we got Sunday. We need to sprinkle some Monday in there, but whatever you want, let's do it.
All right. I guess let's go Saturday.
All right, let's do it.
Damn, things not coming up. See what's on the slate.
Obviously, we got Final Four action: Purdue, NC State, UConn. I'm going like Bama. Also, we didn't talk about it. Bama's. There's 3 former high school coaches in the Final Four. How dope is that?
Wow.
That's pretty. That's
So
pretty
it
dope.
can happen.
Yeah, 7 years ago, Bama's head coach was teaching math in high school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 7 years ago. Crazy how quick life comes at you. All right, put parlay whatever you want.
All right. Damn. It's a weird. Well, I guess they leave space for the NCAA tournament. I don't want to put the pub parlay on my side for the NCAA. I'll stick to what I'm partially know. Let's go with Cavs and Lakers. Cavs at Lakers. Shoot, it's a 3:30 game. Let me see what the spread is on this. Let's see. They got Cavs at a 5.5. You know what? I'm gonna take the Cavs versus the Lakers. I'm gonna take the Cavs on the spread.
Cavs with spread.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm going to go a little NHL action. Florida, Boston, over under set 5.5. I think we see more. I think we see 6 goals at least. So give me the over. Boston, Florida, 5.5.
Nice.
Any betting advice for the NCAA tournament Final Four here?
I'm gonna tell you, let
Any-
y'all in on my little
yeah.
secret. I don't know how much it helps, but it's worth noting. So what I've been doing when it comes to these matchups on NCAA tournament ever since like the start of the tournament, what I've been doing was searching the head-to-head record of teams. So I looked up the head-to-head record of NC State, NC State, and Purdue, and I found out that the last time they played Purdue was like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and State lost in overtime. And Zach Edey was on that team. I think he was like a freshman. He had like 13 points, but that was also during the time where NC State had that forgettable team of like Cam Hayes and Jericho Helms. Nobody knows these people no more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like into history and trends and stuff, any matchup you see, just look up the history matchups and see like what was the historic spread, how many points were scored for and against. It could help. That's what I've been using so far. And, and even if it's in the case where these two teams haven't played, then you go to the actual trends. Like, all right, so how has this team fared against such and such, So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's great advice. History has a way of repeating itself. I like it. I'm going to give you guys 2 quick bets if you can find them. NC State team total points over 63.5. I think they're going to score over 64 points. Take it. UConn team total points over 86.5. I think they score more than 86.5 on Bama. I'm taking both those overs from those teams. But that's it for our pub parlay. That's it for our betting. Random question, then we'll get the hell out of here. Sound good?
All right. You
got one?
It's yours. Yeah, it's you.
It's my turn? All right. Kendrick Lamar going after J. Cole. J. Cole hits back today with a 7-minute drill. I don't know if you listened to it, but it's I loved it. I'm here for it. I got to know, what is, in your eyes, the greatest rap or music industry beefs that you've seen?
I feel like we came up with so many. Like that whole 50,
I know.
I guess I'll go with 50 Cent and Ja Rule for the fact that like I don't hate either one of them. I damn sure didn't listen to Ja Rule like that. But 50, I wasn't into New York rap like that. But what I do remember is like that beef and how calculated it was and how long-standing. I love a long-standing beef, like keeping the same energy and stuff. I love this. And 50 Cent has done that for a while. And I low-key kind of forgot like what started the beef. But it doesn't matter now because they had a whole DVD box set on the beef. That's all we need. So like if I need to go back to it, I just watch beef.
I like that, man. And yeah, like anytime you're petty enough to buy the first 20 rows of someone's concert so no one can sit front seat, like 50 did a Ja Rule, like kudos to you. My hat's off. And it's been 20 plus years.
It's crazy because he probably didn't even need to buy it for real.
Yeah, for real. I'm gonna go with the low hanging fruit. I'm gonna go Jay-Z and Nas. I just that it just had everything you wanted. I think some soldiers died. I think there was obviously not the impact of Biggie and Tupac, but I don't know. I still listen to Ether. I still listen to I'm just like, ooh, like I need a good fuck you music. Like I'll throw a little Jay-Z Nas diss tracks on and just let me go in the garage gym and just go.
Right.
So I'll
go
with that.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah. Good episode, man. Quick, good. Friday Night Lights. We made it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry for your women's Wolfpack, but men's Wolfpack's going to go strong. Wolf's in the chat. We'll catch you guys next week.
South Conho Pack. Woo!